I am not Army Osei-Frimpong. It's your boy Sin today. Before our regulars tune out, there will be no buffoonery. I'm sweating because it's warm in here. I'm taking today's topic very seriously because we need to talk community has over straight, cisgendered black men. Because it's a thing. And for us to continue to act like it's not a thing is a crock. So before we hit the beat, though, we warned everybody I'm going to be talking about Dave Chappelle's special, Sticks and Stones. So if you have not watched it, warning, I'm going to spoil a lot of good jokes that you should have seen by now. The first one is that Dave opened that show in an amazing way. He was singing Prince's 1999. If you listen to where he emphasizes things, you'll pick up on something that he's signaling. And just pay attention to that during the beginning. Before we go there, his first joke is about Anthony Bourdain and how he had the best job in showbiz and hung himself. He then tells a story of a friend of his, a black man who lost pretty much everything he had going for him, worked at Foot Locker, and still had the endurance not to kill himself. Dave's a genius. He ain't lost a step. And with that, hit the beat, Matt.
To the beat, y'all.
Yeah. Sound good to me. Never change the ways for the world or the government. If I was the president, then I would state facts. You leave it up to me, I paint the White House black and ain't no future in your front.
To the beat, y'all.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. So today we're going to talk about LGBTQ privilege as compared to black men. So let me be very clear. People of color, I am not talking to you. When I talk about the LGBTQ community, I am talking about the rest of the LGBTQ community, which loves to counsel black men because they're supposedly punching down. But how do you punch down a group that's better protected than you are? You can't. Black men are the most vulnerable group. Let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. Let me say that very clearly. Cis, straight, black men are the most vulnerable group in America. I have more privilege as a gay black man because my masculinity is not taken as a threat to white people. The moment they hear I'm gay, now when I open my mouth and start stuff, they suddenly reconsider their opinion of whether or not I'm a good gay or not. Currently, this is probably likely why I don't date. I'm okay with that. If standing up for my brothers means I don't get to deal with a community, that's a damn shame for that community. And it certainly doesn't keep that community from privately messaging me, trying to live out their Mandingo fantasies. So yeah, I'm talking to all y'all. I need y'all to pay attention. Also, we know how I feel about allies. I don't like allies. I'm watching it again. I don't like allies. Let me be very clear. Allies have to be a mutually beneficial relationship. Allyship with straight black men brings no one anything beneficial, which means you can't be an ally. You have to be their friend because friends weaponize their privilege to stand up for them, which is why I'm doing this show. Because I would love for the LGBT community to come for me. My link is in the bio somewhere. Come for me on Facebook. Let's talk. Let's talk about the BS that y'all are proposing. So let's start by pointing out two things. There are 4 comedians in my life that I think are pure genius. I thought I turned that off. That is Richard Pryor, Paul Mooney. Mooney was amazing. I actually love Mooney. Mooney sat in a room full of white people telling them about themselves, and they laughed, and he never laughed once. He was damn serious. Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams. Geniuses. Cat is hard to spot as how genius he is, but he owns all his stuff. And that's genius. You'll notice I didn't say Kevin Hart. But let's talk about Kevin Hart and the Oscars. Like, y'all didn't even let Ellen, the queen of the white gays, defend Kevin Hart. Y'all were like, no, Kevin Hart is counseled. He doesn't get to do this thing he did. I don't know why he wanted to do it, but apparently Kevin wanted to do it. Dave talks about that. He knows Kevin. I don't. So go watch that special. Anyway, Kevin made a mistake 15 years ago. There was obviously a joke because, let me tell you, I've talked to a lot of other gay people, bi people, whatever term you choose. Look, I'm not going to be sensitive about the terms I use today. I've spoken to other members of our shared community, and none of them have ever said they were hitting over the head with a dollhouse. I've never heard that. I've heard people being thrown out. And let's stop this narrative that homophobia is more rampant in the black community than it is the white community. That is the gay version of black on black crime. I'm gonna need y'all to shut the hell up with that one. Like, no, we're not saying that anymore. Stop, you're lying. Let me tell you about the homophobia I have experienced. It has always been at the hands of either a white man or white woman. I've only ever had one black man distance himself from me because of my orientation. I've had many other friends, once they found out, distance themselves because of my orientation. None of them, except for that one, was black. So let's not pretend that the gay community or homophobia is something strictly found in my community. It's not. You didn't see many black senators fighting against marriage equality. Those were white people. Now, the reason we as the LGBTQ community have more privilege than black men is because we have a proximity to white people. Ask the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign loves to tote us out when they want marriage equality, but where the hell are they when we need reparations? They haven't said a word. They real quiet. I mean, I haven't seen a single Human Rights Campaign ad about how black people are treated in this world, but they want equality. Well, if you want equality, you need to look at the people lower than where your position is on the social totem pole and raise them up. And that's not what you're doing, community. You're attacking black men. You're going, oh, he can't say that. He can say it because he's the lowest on the totem pole. He can make fun of any fucking body he wants to. Excuse my language, shouldn't have cursed. But he can. He can make fun of anybody he wants. He's at the bottom. Everybody he swings at, he's punching up at, including us. So let's stop this idea, and I see it among my progressive/liberal friends. Yes, child, in the same category. That should warn you how that's going to go. That, we don't punch down at the trans community, and that's what Dave did. And then when I call you on it, you immediately use the trans people of color community as a shield. We are not your goddamn shield. Stop using people of color as your shield. It's the equivalent of, I have a black friend. Like, let me just be very clear. Gay white people, stop using, like, if you're a gay white person and I go through your Facebook and there is only one black person in each of your pictures, that tells me a lot about you. Don't try to go get more friends now. Don't worry about it. I mean, we know y'all messed up. So Dave specifically talks about the LGBT community in a joke where he references a car. He talks about the alphabet community being in a car and that the G's are driving. He specifically says, but it's a white man, because he understands that within the gay community, white men still run things. And they run things like they're white male straight peers. They use everyone else when they need something, when they want something. They don't support them when they, like I said, HRC, where are you at? Why are you not, endorsing candidates that support reparations? Why are you not, out here? That would help the people of color part of your community. Don't just tote us out when you need us. That's a problem. So, one of the examples I use is that if I've made this joke many times. If I walk into a board meeting in a yellow sundress with a baseball bat, everybody will be like, oh, it's okay. He's just impersonating Beyonce. And I would just start swinging. A couple of boards I've been on that needed to be cleaned out whatever way needed to be. I'm not threatening anyone with violence, by the way, because we know how that turns out on the show. If there's any suggestion of, I might have suggested violence. White people, get your panties out of a knicker. I'm not suggesting that I should hit you all with baseball bats. I'm just saying the options on the table. But if I walk in, it's okay. If Irony, and y'all have seen the difference in Irony and I sides. Y'all know what Irony looks like. If Irony walks in with a baseball bat, people gonna panic, they gonna scream, they gonna run because he is perceived as a threat simply for being a black man. I am given a pass once they find out I'm gay. To my gay black brothers and sisters, stop. Stop letting them separate us from the people we should stand with. The gay community loves to talk about the idea of intersectionality, but if intersectionality was working the way it should, HRC would already be demanding reparations for us. So it doesn't. And feel free to go look through my Facebook page, my Twitter feed. It's Adesynica, Asynaka. Feel free to come at me if you want to. Comment. I will address everything perfectly fine. But look through my history. You'll see that I was quite the intersectionalist for quite a long time. I have a lot to unlearn. Some of you may know that I went through the comments recently, and I appreciate every comment y'all make. I know some people defend some of the things I do, and they explain them, and sometimes they're right. But those, let's be clear. The buffoonery, that laugh you just heard, that was nervous, because I don't know if something's going over well. I appreciate those comments, because those help me grow as a host and as a person. I am not thin-skinned. I'm still a black man. I got to have pretty thick skin in this world. But I don't have to have as thick a skin as Dave Chappelle and Irony. So, I do have privilege over them. Because, like I said, I walk in a room and no one thinks I'm a threat because they go, oh, well, he gay. He's okay. He likes Beyonce. He carries a fan occasionally and clacks it at meetings when he wants to throw shade at public representatives. I ain't forgot about you, Richie. It's coming. I'm telling you, he's gonna be my person. I'm gonna do stand up, and we have a local candidate that's gonna love it. He's gonna be former candidate, future inmate. So, let's not talk about proximity to whiteness. Definitely gives you privilege. I've understood that most my life. I've had that proximity in different ways and been able to use it to my advantage. I'm saying a lot. I hear y'all already. So I'm gonna work on that one. Let's just be clear. I'm not speaking about something I don't understand. Dang, I can't stop with the ums. I also work in HIV prevention. Why? Because I know the numbers. The numbers say that HIV is a black community issue and a socioeconomic issue, not a gay issue. Because if you move black gay men back to the category of black people are the fastest rising group of new HIV discoveries. So when I'm dealing with that, I'm not dealing with that as a gay issue. That's actually a black issue that I am addressing when I deal with stuff like that. That's why I'm very open about my status as a positive man and so forth and so on. So this is all about the privilege that all those things give me. Hell, I managed to have privilege because I'm broke. What you gonna take from me? My disability check? The only people that can touch my disability check are the student loan people who, if you're watching, please get out my check because y'all in there. I need y'all out too. I live in housing authority. I live in public housing. There's a lot of rumors, and I've learned about what people think about me. By the way, Matthew, that they say things like, I can go back to my nice home, and I'm always like, I live across the city in the projects, bruh. Like, don't get this mistaken. I am lucky to work beside Irony. We are very different in a lot of ways. He recognizes those. He never throws them up at people. But like he recognizes that there are things he can do that I can't do. And I recognize there are things he can do that I can't do. But the things that Army can do that I can't do are not based on him being a black man. That is not the case. Because there's nothing Army can do as a black man that I can't do more than and get away with it. I said in a debate during a mayoral candidate, clacking a fan every time a mayoral candidate spoke into a microphone right by a camera. Was I asked to stop? Absolutely not, because I'm gay. If Army had even stands up and speaks at a meeting, there is a reaction about it. Like, everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's yelling about what he said. Well, what he said was the truth. Yeah, they don't want to clap. That's what they do. They don't clap. They didn't clap for Army last? Okay, so yeah. Army spoke at a meeting last night. I'm not going to go into that one because I don't believe in cannibalizing my community. But I think that needs to be addressed. Black gay people, do not allow yourself to be used to cannibalize the black community. No, that's not acceptable. We don't. So I know I get a pass because I'm masculine. So let me talk to my femme brothers for a minute. You don't have a seat at the table that is feminism. You are not a woman. I'm talking to femme men. You behave like you have a place at the table that is feminism. You don't. You're still a man. You need to come back to the table with the other men and help those men, your brothers, understand you, not abandon them and pull these. The next person I see that says black men are the white people, are the white men of people of color, I'm going to have to call them out and probably carry them for several miles and hurt their feelings, which I don't mind. I'm looking forward to it. Because they aren't. To compare black men and white men in any way is ridiculous. Dave Chappelle made a joke that makes it perfect. Dave said, nobody's life is perfect. My life is good, but it's not perfect. It's like an above ground pool. Now, we all understand that. Above ground pools are nice, but they ain't like in-ground pools. And that's what it means to be a black man, even with $60 million paid to you for 3 comedy specials. He recognizes that. This is why I say there's so much genius in what he did. It was so layered, and it was funny. I don't care what nobody say. Now, Kevin, people are going to bring up Kevin Hart's reaction recently on the barbershop, on the shop. First of all, I want to point out that this is a show that is taking in a sacred space for black men and putting it on HBO. We all know what's said at the barbershop stays at the barbershop. You don't weaponize that. So to give Kevin the impression that he's in that space and can have a fully honest, free-flowing conversation, because I didn't see any hate from Kevin's questions. Kevin was trying to understand why Lil Nas X felt the need to come out. He was trying to understand that. But if you listen to the white media, Kevin was being inconsiderate. No, if Kevin had been a white man, he'd be being inconsiderate because, well, white men don't get to joke about anybody but them damn selves because they have had their foot on everybody else's throat long enough. I don't want to see a white comedian do a joke that ain't about a white man or a white woman because that ain't my problem. Y'all keep that up there. Anthony Jesuit can make jokes about killing babies and y'all don't say a damn thing. Dave Chappelle make one comment about a select group. Anthony Jesuit talks about babies in general. Y'all ain't upset. Y'all ain't nobody counseling Anthony Jesuit. But y'all trying to counsel Dave? Like, come on, get your facts straight, get it right. Yeah, he made $60 million. His mother still lives in the District of Columbia, where I'm from. And let me tell you, she lives in the District of Columbia still because her son makes $60 million off a special. It isn't because she can afford to. We used to call DC Chocolate City. Now it's white chocolate, not real chocolate. I mean, white chocolate is not real chocolate. I worked for Godiva. I'm telling you, it's not. It doesn't have any cocoa in it whatsoever. So let's not pretend and lie. Let's keep it real. Dave's 60 million is not the same as a white man's 60 million, because a white man is only supporting his immediate family. Dave has siblings, a mother, and a whole family that he's having to support. So white allies, because that's what y'all are. My white friends know they're my friends. I don't have to tell them they're my friends. They listen to everything I say, and they know exactly when I say white, I'm not talking about them. But if they didn't, I'd still say it. So, I mean, that's really kind of not the point. Dave knows his money doesn't go as far as everybody else's. He acknowledges it throughout the special. He named it Sticks and Stones. He opened with Prince's 1999. I don't think he could have been more obvious that he was telling people he had nothing left to lose. He literally points out that the key course to the 1999 is running from my destruction, even though I didn't even care. And then he starts to tell jokes. So Dave knows where he's at. He understands his place. He can say what he wants about anybody, because y'all treat straight cis black men like garbage. Inside the gay community, let's not act like white gays treat black gays any better than white people treat black people. White gays, actually, so here's what white gay men do. They're kind of like certain types of women. They slide right in my DMs with an immediate reference to my genitalia and what they'd like to do. That's their opening conversation, while they're still talking about consent publicly when it comes to women. I have a friend, a black male in this town, who is an attractive black male. If you are a gay person in Athens, y'all all know who I'm talking about. Y'all need to respect that that man is straight. Stay the fuck back. I cursed again. Not gonna do that. Y'all, yeah, no, thank you, Miss Mary. Like, I gotta work. I'm heated about this. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to do this last week, but Iron Man had already set up the show, so he told me I could do it this week. Let's be clear. Y'all understand consent when it comes to women's rights. But when it comes to black men, y'all don't understand consent. Terry Crews was sexually harassed by a white man publicly at an event with his wife there. That's bold as can be. Why did he feel like he could do that with a man the size of Terry Crews? Because he was a white man. He knew he could do that, because if anything happened, everything was going to be on his side. So, I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say about that part of my community. And let me be clear, when I identify loosely, I will say gay, because that is a term. If I am being fully technical, I am bisexual homo-romantic, which means sexually I'm attracted to women. I just don't have emotional relationships with them, which is why I don't bother to engage them at all, because I don't think it's fair to them. Like, I don't form the bonds with women in a relationship like I do with a guy. That's all. I don't even like to be called part of the LGBTQ community. When I reference it in any of my work, I use GSRM, which is gender, sexual, romantic minority, because I want to be very clear to distance myself from the behavior of this community. I did it again. It's just, I don't know. I don't understand. Matthew? anything.
No. I think you made a good point when you're talking about how black women are sort of perceived as being the predator no matter what the consent is. That's just the racial stereotype that they have.
Yeah, like black men are always the villain. Like there is no situation where against anyone that a black man isn't the villain. He can be villainized easily because society has been taught to villainize him. I know that in the past, somewhere in my Twitter, I have probably gone off on a black man about something homophobic he said. I apologize. I didn't get it then. I don't like the term woke because woke implies a final state. It should be always about being an awakening as we learn and unlearn new things. The greatest lesson I've learned sitting beside Army, blame black people last. It is a very important lesson. Do not cannibalize our own community no matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter. They may not know better. Now, that doesn't mean you give privileged black people an absolute pass. No. You call them on their bullshit. Camilla Harris, I'm talking to you. Yeah, I said it. I mean, that's my slogan. I said it. You hold them accountable for their track record and their history. But we also hold, if we are part of the LGBTQ community, our white peers in that community to a standard. And we don't allow them to go after our black brothers. Or sisters. Yeah. Well, so here's a weird thing. They seldom have a tendency to go after black women. The LGBTQ community is very interesting. White gays like to imitate black women. They think that's the most amazing thing in the world. They ain't doing nothing to help them, but they love to imitate them. You'll go to many a drag show and see some white drag queen up there performing a Patti LaBelle song poorly. How you poorly lip sync? It's Patti. Come on, get some. If you ain't seen a Patti video, don't do her music. Yes, I'm talking to drag queens in town. If you ain't seen Patti, and it's let me just be clear. Stop doing Aretha. As I remember, I don't like Patti that much. Y'all need to leave Aretha alone. Sister Franklin has served our community well, and we need y'all to just back up off her music and stop doing performances because you ain't never going to do it as good as she ever did it. I enjoy drag because it is typically a different performance, but when you just up there lip singing and not doing it as well as Aretha did it, stop. Okay, that's the last point on that. So anyway, while we're doing this, let me also remind y'all, Matthew, if you'll throw it up for me, I am not Army Osei-Frimpong, but go to the link below. Support the Funky Academic. Army does a great job, and he's right. He's making himself pretty damn unemployable because he stands up for black men. I didn't understand that early on, but I recently, not recently, maybe a year ago, made a comment where I was defending, I said, calling black men the white people of color is the whitest thing I'd ever seen. I made a mistake because in progressive circles, the rules are you don't defend yourself, you let your allies defend you. I let my friends defend me. Yeah, you can't defend yourself. You gotta let the other people around you. Yeah, you're not allowed to defend yourself. If you defend yourself, you're being aggressive. You're being touchy. Now you're not allowed to agree. I made the mistake of not saying cis straight black men. And let me tell you, it was a friend of mine that reposted it to her feed full of intersectionalists who came for me. And I was off Twitter for 30 days because I defended a black man. Now, clearly, I know that when they make those generalizations about black men, they aren't talking to gay black men. They tell us it all the time. But in that point, I made the mistake of crossing a line, and so I had to be punished. And so they came for me. And I took my 30 days on the chin. They didn't get me suspended, actually. I literally just said, I'm going to be quiet for 30 days and reflect. I've reflected. Doesn't look so good for y'all out there anymore. Sorry. I might have to go back to that tweet and retweet it because y'all aren't getting it. Black Twitter, look, we do what we do well. We make things happen. Stop this BS. Stop letting this happen. Stop letting other communities come for black men because black men are and if you're wondering, okay, so let's talk about the categories that black men lead in. Incarceration.
Unemployment.
I'm having a really hard time, you'll notice, coming up with places missing. Oh, we recently learned that police officers are the largest killer of American males. We know that they disproportionately.
69% of us that get killed by them after they come into our home. They did a study. 69% of black people that get killed.
Are we still broadcasting? No, we're good. It's green over there. Were we broadcasting?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay, good. So yeah, Ms. Murray just pointed out, apparently 69% of black people who cops get killed by police after they've entered their home. So let's talk about the difference in privilege. I got a great story on this one. I dated a white guy. I've dated many. It's a lot of work. I'm over y'all right now. Not gonna lie. Like, I just don't have the energy to keep explaining to y'all why you can't touch my hair. So, with that, in my own home, my white male boyfriend felt perfectly comfortable walking around nude, even though I had very sheer curtains. And I made a comment to him about it, and he's like, well, this is your house. This is how we should be able to do what we want. Black people, we know that's not the case. Up. When it comes to black men, I'm going to need people to understand a simple rule that was written by my mentor, Dwayne McDuff, who created Static Shock. I was lucky to have Dwayne as a mentor for a very kind of short period of my life. But when the first Static issue came out, Static had on a Malcolm X hat, and the words under it said, "Don't start none, there won't be none." LGBT community, keep coming for black men. Keep doing it. You starting something, there's gonna be problems. I'm gonna call you on your BS every time. I'm gonna carry you. Your feelings are gonna be hurt. I'm going to make you cry. Doesn't bother me. What bothers me is you attacking my brothers like they aren't the worst recipients of white supremacy in this country. And on that note, deuces.